Chaos, courage, and country fun would be some words that I would use to describe this game. Hey, my name is Eric with a K, and I'm the host of the Practical Youth Ministry Tips podcast. I'm so glad you're joining me today. I spoke at a camp 2 weeks ago in New York, and I'm telling you, we played a game called Ragball. I think I've played it years ago, but this game was so much fun, and I want to explain it to you, and then I'm going to show you, as you just saw a clip of it, I'm going to show you a bigger picture, and I'm actually talking over that video, giving some instructions. But here's how Ragball works. I think you could do it with as few as 3 students, but as many as 300. I don't know. That's probably too many. But we played it with 100 students at camp. And the way you do it is you set up 4 chairs, and you need a leader that is counting points at every chair. And then the object of the game is to take your rag ball, which we had some tied up towels as well as old camp shirts that were tied up in balls. And those were the rag balls. And each team has a chair that they are to defend, and then they can score on any other team's chair. And so you run, you throw your rag ball, and you try to touch the chair. You can go all the way right up to it. Now, the thing is, if you throw the ball, your rag ball to somebody, and they drop it, your team cannot touch it. Somebody from a different team has to pick up the rag ball. So, and it's kind of fun. Reason I say chaos is because the bigger your groups, the harder it is to keep track who's on what team. You could assign people like team colors if you want to do shirts, if you want to go all out on this stuff, or armbands or something like that, bracelets, colored bracelets. But there's something fun to the chaos of not really knowing for sure and having to trust people.
Can I trust you?
I love that. The competition obviously is to try to get points. And ultimately the goal is to have the least points scored against you.
Like what? Like golf.
So that's why it doesn't really matter which team you try to score on as long as you're scoring on other teams. You just want to defend your own. Now, you'll see in the video that students were protecting and standing around the chair. So, we sometimes say that you can't puppy guard.
Hey, you can't do that!
Right? When you're playing other games, this game you can. They stood all the way around it. But the people could run in and jump and kind of slam it over their heads or whatever. As long as it touches that chair, it doesn't matter how, they can score the point. So there's a lot of chaos. Obviously, competition. I say country fun because it's outdoors. It's fun. Like, this was a blast playing. Now, I was going to say potential collisions to add another C. So you have to be careful. You have to pay attention, right? Because if you're running and you're not looking and then you turn and all of a sudden somebody else is doing the same thing. So there's the potential for that. But man, we didn't have any collisions. It was so much fun. The students loved it. Our leaders loved it. Like, our leaders got into it as well. Like we said, yeah, leaders absolutely can play as long as you have one leader at each chair to keep track. Now, you can do it with, I think, as few as 3 chairs. I don't know that it would work great with just 2 chairs. There's something to the chaos of having more than 2 teams. That really builds into it. So having those 4 chairs. So if you have a larger group, you could add another chair. But 4 chairs worked really well for what we did with the 100 students that we had playing. And Ragball is awesome. So let's take, and by the way, I want to give you a free gift at the end of this video. But let's go ahead and take a look at Ragball in action. Okay, Ragball. 4 teams. Each team has a chair that they're trying to protect. And there's a bunch of rag balls being tossed. You just use cloth or whatever. If you get tagged, you have to toss the rag ball to somebody else on your team. If it drops, you can't take it. Nobody on your team can. But you're running. If you get tagged, you pass it to somebody on your team. And they're trying to get the rag ball to, oh, it's dropped. She's fast.
Give me the mic up.
Oh, that sure got touched.
So awesome, right? Well, I told you I wanted to give you a free gift. And by the way, I try to give you a game at least once a month, but typically every other week. And it's usually during school season when we're doing more games, when we have our youth group going, so I can show you instead of just telling you, I can show you the actual games. So we'll be getting more games as our school season gets launched back here and youth group gets started up and all that. So anyhow, I've got a free gift. If you haven't gotten it yet, it's an ebook and a companion audiobook on games, totally free. All you got to do is click the link in the description below. And in that ebook, I talk about why we do games in youth ministry, a bunch of low prep and no prep games that you can just have. They're super simple. I've explained exactly how to play them. Not much to the prep for them. Sometimes you don't need anything. And the low prep, you might need like a tennis ball or whatever. And then 15 best practices on how to be a great game leader, explaining the games, running the games, helping students to understand how to play the game. Like, it's important for whoever's leading the game to know how to play the game and not stand up there and read off a sheet. Okay, the first thing we're going, that's miserable. You want to be awesome at leading games. And maybe it's not you. Maybe you're just like, that's not my thing. Or you're speaking and you need to hand that off to somebody else. Give it to one of your leaders and they can read and listen to it, or give it to a student leader. Somebody like I had my one of my youth ministries. I had an incredible middle school student-led games team. I had a leader that I built into, and I taught kind of how to do this. Like, went through this whole ebook that I've given to you and taught him how to do that. He then would meet with the team once a month, and the students would they would plan it, they would practice the games, and then they would explain it, and then they would run the games. It was awesome. So you can take this ebook and give it to whoever you want so that they can become a great game master. Well, that's Ragball. That's the ebook. I hope this has been encouraging. If it's been helpful, would you click that share button, pass it along to somebody else? And until next time, see ya!